They are it's so pretty. It does the Elden Ring thing. Path of Exiles does the Elden Ring thing where the individual assets themselves are not particularly, high res or high default, but it's the way that they are utilized and used that makes them look as pretty as they do. Elon Musk doesn't actually create anything, his employees do. He's like he's still a busy ass motherfucker. I'm not going to say he's not, yet somehow he still finds a way to doom scroll on Twitter all fucking day and do fuck all. Like, I don't understand how people who like say that they're like, oh, I'm this big masterclass like CEO person, and then they fucking spend all their time on Twitter bitching and fighting with people about inane things. It's weird. Yeah, no, it's there's a purpose for that, Haslo. I make sure to I only let a handful of people into the live channel. It's just while I'm streaming. That's the only thing. I only really let other streamers and content creators up, by and large. It's none on you. Don't worry about it. The man is a grown-ass man making fits and ass emphasis doesn't actually work. No, it doesn't, and it's pathetic. Like, Carnegie, Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, they were robber barons. They were monsters, to be sure. Like, nobody's denying that, but at least they fucking, paid for people's health care and public works and shit. Now, granted, they shouldn't have been making the amount of money they had in the first place, but, today's billion... Like, I think the thing that bothers me about today's ruling class is that they're such fucking losers. Like, Elon Musk is a vapid, is a walking black hole of neediness and insecurity. Jeff Bezos is a, is a psychotic weirdo who says who brags about keeping that his employees are all desperate as shit. And Mark Zuckerberg like constantly seems like a fucking lizard person, like it like pretending to be human, like just like, yes, this is how a human being acts. Like they're all fucking weirdos, and like I just like I feel like it would be harder to hate. It would be harder to hate them if they weren't such fucking weirdo losers. That's just the reality of it. Ah, god damn it, PoE. Why you have to crash on me in the middle of some shit? Ain't that a bitch? Yeah, that's the one thing I did have issues with when it comes to PoE. It's like there was like some stability issues. I don't know if it's my computer or if it's the game itself, but like, does PoE normally crash this much? If you anybody members of the community, like, let a brother know.
Wait, have you
I
seen
would.
the Gen Z mod for Skyrim?
I have not. I know I'm familiar of the dude who like let his chat show up like with voice to text in the game as like random speech. I kind of want to go back and like reconstruct how he did it, because like the concept of doing that would be so fucking funny to me.
Oh yeah. But not only that, like it was like when Alduin shows up, they're like, it's not just Diddy Dragon, it's a boomer.
I mean, that's a
Like,
really great allegory for like what the boomer generation is. They're just arrogant, large dragons sitting on their hoard of wealth and not really contributing anything to society except its perpetual and ongoing destruction.
all of them except for Parthenax.
And Parthenax is like Dolly Parton or some shit.
Why people just I can't understand why people just hate Christianity.
It's mainly
It's the
because
sex. Not sex,
it's
but sex.
it's the people. I don't hate
That's what I'm
Christianity.
saying.
I don't hate Christianity in concept. I hate Christians.
And that's the problem because even
And I don't hate
Christ
Christians
himself is like, I
because
don't
they're
want you being
Christians. Yeah, I don't hate Christians because they're Christians. I hate Christians because they use Christianity to you know,
justify their
validate
actions.
validate being they have predetermined ways of how they want the world to be and how they want to view the world and how they want to behave. And whether they know it or not, that's why they treat people the way that they do. They're just if
That's
this
why
is
I
the
don't
case.
fall under the sects of Christianity, because I believe they're all false.
Yeah, no, ultimately at the end of the day, like, belief, if you get, however you get your moral compass, as long as you're a good person, it doesn't really fucking matter. And we got found more time to kill the elves. I'm sorry. I have to take a second. Well, even if we're talking about other stuff, I have to take a second to kill the
Oh no, I do too.
to kill the elf Nazis.
Yes,
It's important.
the Thalmor biggest piece of shit in all of
Yep.
Tamriel.
Yep, it doesn't. Listen, man, I don't like Nazis, whether they got pointy ears or human, or in the real world, or in like fake fantasy La La Land. Nazis are bad no matter what. Nah, nothing. Honestly, yo, so this gay dude actually like slid into my TikTok DMs, and he was clean with it though. Like I'm gonna be honest, like I was like
You were
I
questioning
respect the
it.
dude. No, I wasn't questioning it at all.
Okay.
But it was like I was like, yo, this is like I'm stealing it. So is this dude named Diarion, and he slid in saying, when God created you, he was just showing off.
Damn,
That's
good.
a good line. That's a good
That is.
line. That's a good line. I said, thanks, bruh. And he said, you're welcome. You single? And I was like, yep. Butt straight. And he's like, fuck. And I'm like, sorry, fam. Good luck, though. And then I said, I will say, I'm going to steal that line you slid in with for Tinder. And he was like, bruh, lame. I was like, hey, it's a good one. Credit where credit's due.
Yeah, dude, you got a beautiful bond. I'll give you that.
Yeah, dude. It's like, listen. Gay men are still men and they ain't shit. But like that line, night. I told one of the Tinder girlies I was talking to about that shit. She's like, "Yo, I'm stealing that for bundle." I'm like, "Right." I lived in Delaware, and Delaware, like, yeah, we have our morons, but generally it's a blue state, especially in North Delaware where I lived. And now I'm living in West Hollywood, the gayest place on the planet, outside of Bass Pro Shops.
Outside of Bass Pro Shops.
Oh my god.
Please, let's be real. Bass Pro Shops is just Sephora for dads.
It really is. It's for the beer belly dads. You do realize when I was working for my merchandiser company, I actually like talked with a buddy of mine that I worked with about going on the registry and like hunting pedophiles.
Oh no!
No.
Did y'all see like what motherfuckers be doing on like? There's these guys on TikToks that would quite literally go find pedophiles in their community, like confront them at
And
Walmart,
beat their
and then
ass.
just beat the shit out of them. And then these motherfuckers can't do anything about because it's like, they're too scared to go to the cops, and it's funny as shit. I think it's fucking great, bro. I love that shit, man. Hey, can you believe I rented 500 and include power and water? Hey, yo, come here. I don't know if he's bitching about it, but this motherfucker, otherwise we can be envious. This motherfucker says his rent is 500 including power and water.
Oh, fucking brag about it, you prick.
Fuck you, Con.
I wish.
Granted, he lives in Alabama.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Fuck, don't we all?
well, I mean, I'm not sure if I told you this, but Noelia's parents, they pay $2,000 a month.
Well, they're also in Atlanta, which isn't Georgia.
But their fucking house is so huge. It's so huge. And that's after refinancing once. That's what the fuck I said.
We can't have shit, man. We cannot have shit. Fuck me, dude. Ugh. Can't have shit in Detroit. You know who we haven't heard a lot from lately? Kanye West. And you know why I think that is? I think it's because man started taking his medication again and realized, oh, I was doing too much. And he shut the fuck up. I've been like that. I've been like that if I go for a stint without taking my meds. I'm like, okay, I'd be doing too. I don't be doing so much that I'd be like saying Hitler shit, but you know, I understand where he's coming from with that. He was doing too much. Now I took his meds, and now shut the fuck up. Let shit simmer down. So I got autism and ADHD. I understand that. Good. That's enough Minecraft for the time being. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Every time, like, when I think of, like, our generation's brain rot, like ASDF, another prime example. I'm going deeper cut than that. I am going deeper cut than that. We're going to watch this together. Damn this cute little slime game. We are watching Ogre Aggressive.
There's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy, young man. There's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you're sure you can stay there. And I'm sure you will find many ways to have a good time.
And that's the shortened version. Y'all want to see what happens when Shrek comes randomly out of the fucking background? That's a fucking snippet. Is that the fucking original? That's not the original. Did they get rid of fucking Ogre Aggressive? We can't have shit, man. God fucking damn it. We can't have shit. That's fine. I'm proud of you. Good job, Thunder. Hey, listen. Here's my philosophy. I understand that your ex, you have issues with your ex, and I'm not saying you should forgive her. I will say a very, very healthy way to look at a relationship that has ended as you, even if it ended poorly and even if you ended up hurt, take the silver lining you should always take out of a relationship is that you got the opportunity to love another human being, which is one of the most visceral human things that you can experience on this earth. It is a very powerful thing. It is a very hurtful thing. It is a very joyous thing. And, you know, I will say that every relationship, whether it was a committed relationship, an exclusive relationship, or a sexual relationship, even if it ended poorly or even in a way where like I had my feelings hurt, I take joy in the fact that I got to have that level of intimacy and vulnerability with another person. That doesn't necessarily mean it had to be good. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to think fondly about it. But, you know, every opportunity to revel in one of the greatest joys of humanity, and that is loving another person, or being intimate with another person, is something you should always, you know, take solace in, personally. Plus, I was thinking maybe we were going to be a long time ago. The fear tech that you roll up Ross Draft. To a degree, I think the thing is that the thing that protects America the most time, more than like the fear of like all the Americans being armed, is the fact is two things. One, America has a 3,000-mile moat across both sides. Like any country that like is close enough to our equal in terms of like being able to invade us logistically has to get soldiers and supplies over 3,000 to 4,000 miles of ocean, which is no small task. That is a logistical nightmare. That's the first thing. The second thing is being able to invade America is harder than invading in maintaining Europe. You know, firearms notwithstanding, you have to remember that if China were to invade like California, they're going to need to start off being able to fight in urban and desert conditions. That's if they're in Southern California, or forested wet conditions if they're in the Northeast or in the Northwest. Then they have to deal with mountain combat because then the United States will post up along the Rockies and then they have to fight through mountainous region. Then after that, they are going to be on wide open plains in Colorado and the country in like the western portion of the United States after that. And then it's basically fucking flat land. And if they go north and end up in the Ozarks, they're now in again mountainy, swampy kind of region. Or if they go south, they're in dry swampy. They're in very hot, humid, swampy, so they have to worry about mosquitoes, malaria, they have to worry about all that. Then before they can even reach the capital of the United States, they have to go through a mountainous region again in the form of the Adirondacks. And then they're in the Northeast, with the most populous, urbanized center in the world that's filled with forests and creeks and swamps. So now they're going to have to deal with both urban and forested and swampy environments, and mountainous environments too, because the Adirondacks goes all through New England. So what China would have to do to invade us, they would have to deal with deserts, they would have to deal with plains, mountains, swamps. And remember, America is like point to point, like a little under 1,000 length and about 800 lateral, 600 to 700 miles lateral. Actually, I think I even got those numbers wrong. America's huge. And that's not even withstanding that we are very close allies with Canada, we are very close allies with Mexico. So if China does not have both of those on board, they are now having to deal with allies flanking them from both sides. Invade America. The thing that makes America so hard to invade and deal with is, aside from having a military budget that means we don't get to have universal healthcare, and having fucking super weapons and shit that we don't even know about because we're 30, 40 years ahead of the rest of the world in terms of technological development, is the terrain would make not only taking but occupying it afterwards a nightmare. Plus, Americans are fucking feral. The hardest part of an invasion isn't the invasion; it is the occupation afterwards. It would be damn near impossible for Chinese forces to hold. Because here's the thing: if they land on the West Coast, they're probably landing in LA or something. LA's not they're even if you consider the governmental response, so many parts of LA are completely neglected by governmental policy here. So informal power people have come into the background. You have gangs or rather street fraternities, as I like to call them, to be more respectful, protecting their communities, who are going to be a giant thorn in their side. So you're going to have supply lines in Los Angeles and San Francisco and the other places where there's ports that they can capture and use, constantly for being a thorn in their supply lines while they are trying to push into multiple different types of terrain. And again, that is before we even consider that Americans are strapped. If I were to own firearms, I say that if you're going to own firearms in America, you need to own 3: pistol for personal protection, shotgun for home defense, and a rifle to splatter fascist gray matter on the concrete outside. That's it. So, yeah, if China tried to invade the United States, it would go away. And if Europe came together, they would have to deal with the same fucking issue. The powers that be would move out west, and they would have to deal with the same fucking problem. So it's a 3,000-mile moat on either side, multiple different terrain, the logistical nightmares of occupying a city and then while trying to push, it would be hell. It's just not fucking worth it. And that's before you consider our military budget and how much better our military is compared to every other military in the rest of the world. And that's also before you consider Americans are strapped. It's just not worth it at all.
Do I have a firearm? No, I don't have firearms. I'm too mentally ill to if I had a firearm, I would probably end up putting it in my mouth at some point. It's not a good idea for me to have a firearm. I would have been one of the many people who killed themselves via suicide because of that. Yeah. Evan's not allowed to own guns.
The volcano down for nice. Why else Americans have guns should be illegal? Well, unfortunately, due to the American Revolution and the colonial army basically being made of farmers and immigrants with fucking firearms, it was, the musket was generally back in the day, it was a very critical tool for trade. And, it was, by and large, the Second Amendment's purpose originally was to give Congress the ability to raise an army. Unfortunately, in the
1920s, the Supreme Court at the time redefined the Second Amendment to basically protecting individuals' rights to own firearms. It's like people have always had the ability to own firearms, except that was never really questioned in the United States. But that, redefinition and re-evaluating of the Second Amendment in the 1920s is the basis for why Americans have guns. It's now a wedge issue. Guns was one of the Republican parties and the conservatives generally two giant wedge issues that people care about economic anxieties and civic issues and stuff like that. But there's a large contingent of people in America that only care about guns, just like how there's a large contingent of people that only care about abortion. And that was allowed the Republican Party to basically fuck over working class people with their economic policies repeatedly because they had a reliable base of people who they could fearmonger to about abortion and guns, and that would allow them to win elections. Unfortunately, now that contingent is so great that despite me nominally being pro Second Amendment, I generally don't view fire. We live in a society where as long as you're not where you're not fucking supposed to be or deal or in the legal shit where you're you put yourself in danger, by and large, you're not gonna you're not generally at risk of firearm death. The biggest issue is with firearm death is suicide. The problem is that my main issue with the Second Amendment is not so much the Second Amendment itself, and it's Second Amendment people. Second Amendment people, by and large, are very they're not about freedom, and they say they are, but they generally the way they act and behave, by and large, in my experience, has less to do about Second Amendment rights and freedoms like that, and it's mainly just I want an excuse to kill black people. Or people, I want an excuse to take another human being's life. And they talk about walking around urban city centers, wishing somebody would, excited at the prospect of being able to kill somebody. It's really weird and off-putting, and that's a big reason why, despite being a supporter of the Second Amendment, I generally am fine with some levels of universal background checks and things of that nature. I don't want to make owning firearms illegal, but I do think that having preventing lunatics from having one is something I'm not necessarily against. But again, firearm protection with Second Amendment issues are, like immigration, are so far down on the list of things I give a fuck about that it generally, to me, is not something I care. I could care less. I care more about economic issues, minimum wage, and universal health care and things like that. Yeah, I'm a PvE nerd. I used to be really fucking sweaty back in the day when it came to ESO PvP. I'll admit it, I was fucking some dog. I had a friends with benefit, a woman who liked and wanted to repeatedly have sex with me. And I would rather lie in an air mattress and play during mid-year mayhem. I admit that. I was a fucking sweat lord. It was bad. And I own up to it. I'm a better man now in a lot of respects. Because... oh God, you know what? Maybe I get pussy. I don't need shit to myself. You last too fucking long. Cause she got mad. Are you a fucking Templar? You scumbag. How dare you take my fucking gimmick? You rat fuck. How the fuck did you do that? I'm so upset. That's my fucking gimmick. Can Night Blades have nothing anymore? Is this what we've come to? We're fucking Beamplars? Can do stealth bullshit gameplay? Can we have nothing? Arcanists took our DPS role in PvE, and now fucking Templars are doing stealth gangs? What the fuck is this game anymore? Hey, just got the game, what is the point? Or is it getting quest up the skills over skills? So here's the thing I want to note. So as a new player, Roughless, what you need to understand as a new player of Elder Scrolls Online is that the Elder Scrolls Online is an RPG with MMO multiplayer components. There are plenty of different things for you to do, and as you go through and play the game and explore different zones, find new mechanics, all of that, you will find what you enjoy Do not think of this as Warcraft. Do not think of this. Think of this closer to Final Fantasy XIV. It is an RPG with multiplayer components. Play this game for the story. Do quests, get invested with the characters. Characters continue to make appearances as you do quests in zones or even show up in other zones. Just find a direction, go, and enjoy yourself. The writing in the DLCs and expansions is generally better than the base game, but the base game still is pretty damn good, all things considered, and chunky. You can get into PvP if you want. You can run the Endless Archive, which is just a solo dungeon that's endless, and you can turn your brain off and just go. Yeah, this is not Skyrim. The mechanics of the game do not play like Skyrim. If you want to play multiplayer Skyrim, go download the Skyrim Together mod and get that set up on your installation. This is a fun, amazingly taught, great RPG. I've spent 5,000 hours in this. I love this game. Highly recommend you coming in and enjoying it. But the first thing you need to do before you think about builds or meta or any of that other bullshit, play the game, play a couple different characters, play a couple different classes, enjoy yourself. Just enjoy yourself. Play a fun little RPG. Is Skyrim a better RPG in certain ways? Sure. But you know what? This is a good RPG too. I really hope you enjoy your time in the second era of Tamriel here on the Elder Scrolls Online. From as a member of the community, welcome Ruffless to one of the best games I've ever played, and I hope you enjoy your time. Genuinely.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to talk to me outside of this video, outside of live streams, or just join the community and be a part of it, you can do so at HIMediaTV/Discord. Discord links there. We'd love to have you. And given the financial situation of the economy right now, I know this is a tall ask, but if you have the scratch to spare, please consider donating and becoming a supporter at HIMedia.gg/tip. All of our perks are serviced through our Discord channel, including early access videos, exclusive videos, and more. Your generosity is a blessing, and $1 a month is a boon to my mental health. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you, and have a great day.